The flowering vine, known most commonly in the Empire as creeping moonvine, referred to as alma, penumbral tricrown, or eclipse flower in the colonies, is a slow life cycle plant native to Messina, Talaka, and Orub. It buds in early spring, but due to the delicate nature of the three large, centrally veined and moon-like petals, the blossoms only open when the flowers are under the umbra of an eclipse. When this happens, the flowers quickly open, releasing pungent scents of pollen and nectar, attracting night bees alongside several kinds of butterfly and moth. Its stem makes harvesting both its bioluminescent pollen and antimicrobial nectar easy for insect and human alike. A good thing, as the Seven Spheres Scientific Expedition has found the flowers most suitable for harvest. In talking with the locals, it seems their primitive means of gathering and extracting the nectar has let them develop antitoxins and healing salves that are unparalleled from other natural resources. A drop of nectar can beat back even the most terrible disease. The SSSE believes that the applications are much further ranging, however. The unique conditions of the growth and development of the creeping moonvine means that, unless hybridized, the cornucopia of medical advancements locked in this flower will remain a mystery. It is therefore our proposal that beginning next season, the seeking, harvesting, or tending of creeping moonvine be banned, save for those with proper permitting. A public statement by the Empire of Seven Spheres to the entirety of Nor Aldra Tel. Good morning, afternoon, and/or evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between and beyond that binary of the internet. Welcome back to Lights Roleplay, and it feels so fucking good to be saying this. Welcome back to Under Twilight Skies, our Armor Actor charity campaign. I am your host for the duration of the stream, Young Foxy, but much, much more importantly than me, if you're looking around at these gorgeous smokestacks all across your screen here, I have 5 lovely players here with me. 5 incredibly gifted pilots, soldiers, revolutionaries, and good people beyond it all. And here we are, ready to tell a tale, not just of soldiers, not just of revolution, but a tale of people. I won't hold you up any longer. Let's introduce these gorgeous people all around you. I can't see the overlay. I'm just calling people out in the order that I feel like calling them out and in the way that I feel like calling them out. We're going to start down there on the old, I don't know, it's the bottom left of my Discord. I don't know where they are on your screen. You'll figure it out. But this person, incredibly important org member here at Neon Lights Roleplay, someone who I am incredibly glad to know and have met through this tabletop streaming experience, who has now become a core part of my life, and I would consider a very close friend. What's up, Tate? How you feeling, big boy?
Well, hi. I was wondering which person you were going to go to. All right. Hello, Internet. My name is Tate Washburn. You can find me in a lot of different places. That's not important right now, because right now I am Gregarious Black, the very good robot boy. I don't know what else to say. There's no other questions or all that, so I feel like that's it.
You know what? That's fine. We'll leave it right about there. Actually, you know what? I lied. I do have a question for the group of you, actually.
All right.
The question I ask all of you is, in the last moment, before the lights go out, before you breathe your last, if you breathe, what is the one thing that gets your hand back on the console, your finger back on the trigger, your soul back in the fight?
I think it's the fact that there's more to do and see. There is an infinite number of new and unique things in the world, and to let even one of them go by without really appreciating it would be a tragedy.
World full of oxymorons. So tiny, yet so massive. Thinking on that, we creep ourselves around to our next member, someone who I've met also through this tabletop and streaming industry and this world of ours that we share, who I've gotten to see grow in ways that I never really thought I would, but as a friend and as someone who has gotten to share tables with them a couple times, I'm incredibly proud of their growth and development, and I can't wait to see where we see them in a year, 2, 3 years. How you doing, Chelsea? All right, man?
Oh man, every fucking time. God damn it. Every fucking time. Oh shit, dude. But hello everyone. I'm Chouse and currently very hot. But I'm I was told to show up in full kit. So here I am, showing up, showing off. I got you, heck. So there's that. Yeah. You can find me mainly here. That's where you'll find me the most, and you'll also find me in our Discord shitposting away. You'll find the link to that down below. But yeah, that's pretty much all about me.
Fair enough. Gliding
Who you
down
playing?
there. Sorry, I got distracted staring at the that.
Hey, Toast,
Drooling
did you answer the
violently.
question?
Yeah, just
Oh,
go
Did you
see
answer the
that.
question?
See?
Or say who you're playing?
Oh no, I didn't. I'm brain dead. Sorry. I will be playing Catalyst Mayhem, our Rabbitois of the group. Are you okay, Furman? Are you drooling violently?
I didn't realize their last name was Mayhem. That's incredible.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. I love it.
I had a
Well,
similar.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And Cat's last thoughts to really get into the fight is probably that of Tara, to be honest.
Oh.
Through all of the kindness that they have shown them, and even after seeing kind of what they view themselves as a monster, continue to care for them. So just being there and continuing to be in the world for them is
Oh.
really what Cat goes for.
Very, very sweet. Love that. Well, as an almost perfect segue, coming up next, a person whose kindness, their love, their joy, and their goodness extends so far beyond every character they play and into every single thing they do in and out of this space. Your resident DEI consultant, Neon Light server lioness, and all around incredible person. Please say hello to the one and the only, Leona Maple.
Oh Lord, what an intro. Hello, good evening. My name is Leona. Today I am playing Dara Janaki, who is our Tempest playbook. She is our beloved magical girl. Oh damn, I had a wand I was gonna use, totally forgot it. I'll have to have that one for next time. But she and her beloved mech Chandani are the moon and the stars and very much care for the people around them. The thing that keeps them pushing, justice. Standing up, not just rolling over and laying down. Absolutely fucking not. I will not go quietly.
Sometimes it's as simple as that. Sometimes it's about waiting till it gets dark, balling your fist up, and saying, I will not go quietly. Pondering on that, we move second to last before we move into our intro. Someone who I've gotten to know through this space and whose content continually amazes me, and the things that they create continually amaze me. And I think even on the days when they doubt themselves and wonder why they are here, I think they make it self-evident with everything they do that they have an incredibly potent and powerful place in this space. And I'm happy to know them. Hey, Eliza.
Hey. Hi. I'm Glyza. I go by they them. Today I will be playing Mahalina Agbayani. I am so excited to just be here. Thank you for that intro, Foxy. That was really sweet. What keeps Mahalina fighting? As well, she has almost died regularly. So as the darkness takes her, she would see Hell's eyes, and first she would smile, maybe take some time to rest. But before the darkness completely overtakes her, she sees the execution scene of Hell, and it is anger that wakes her. It is anger and pure, unadulterated need for revenge that causes her to get up and fight again.
When love fails, sometimes vengeance is all one needs to burn. Leveling on that, swinging over to last, but anything but the least of our cast. A friend I consider honestly just a part of my heart. Someone whose brain operates in the same wavelength as mine to the point where I don't even have to think the thought. It just is already in Vermin's head sometimes. And I'm amazed every time, not to speak nothing of the incredible things you create in this place and the brain that you bring out and show all the incredible parts of to us. I am incredibly blessed and honored to know you, and I hope you all will be blessed and honored and see what they bring to this table. Hello, legendary vermin.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Legendary Vermin. Thank you for that intro, Foxy. You are an absolutely terrific leader at Neon Lights Roleplay and beyond within this space. We are so blessed to have you put your hand on the wheel of the ship that is Neon Lights Roleplay. I think we can all agree on that. We're blessed. Tonight, I am playing Hyphea, or Hell, who is our resident revenant, a person who died and then was brought back for the explicit purpose of war. And when she is feeling the lights fade and has to decide whether now is the time to give up the ghost, she remembers two things. You cannot kill her in a way that matters, no matter what. There is nothing more powerful than the memory of a martyr living on in other people's hearts. But also, she remembers the things that she has done, both good and bad, and does not, when her heart goes to be weighed, want to be found wanting. So there is more good that needs to be put in the world for everyone around her. And that brings her back.
Good.
To strike back.
Good fucking Lord. There's nothing I could say following that word
Bars.
as more powerful than that statement right there. So instead, what I will simply do is remind everyone very quickly why it is that we are all here today, beyond just playing a game and having a good fucking time. For those who are unaware, previously 30-plus year lasting president ruling Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court recently. There are 13-plus states which are seeking to restrict the rights of birthing people to reproduce in the way that they feel comfortable and have their own bodily autonomy. We here at Neon Lights are deciding that it's not enough to simply scream back. It is time to fight back. And that is exactly why we are here. You will notice that whenever you put in the /charity command or the exclamation point charity command, you will see a link to donate. There's also one below here, that purple picture you see. We'll provide a link to our partners here, Soft Giving. We are partnered with them to raise money for NARAL and helping with the fight for reproductive rights. Last time we raised $550 for that purpose alone. We have upped that amount another $500, so let's hope we can get that point, if not further, tonight. If you cannot donate, just thank you so much for being here and fighting with us. Everything that you give will not go straight to this game here, but more importantly, go right to that fight. We don't take any of that. It is straight for the fight here. Thank you all so much for that. That said, let's have some fucking fun, yeah? So, where we last left off, as I get my music back on, the cast find themselves taking off into the fray of battle to rescue their wayward commander, Captain Lord Faris. He took off, seemingly for almost no reason, and was ambushed by SSA mechs. Arriving on time to help reinforce him, the Truth and Darkness soldiers fought bloodily and with creativity, ultimately having them confront the Hellion Division. Massive black angel-like creatures of some kind that, well, mechs certainly, but potent and powerful in a way that most mechs they've seen before have never been. Doing so, we lost somebody temporarily. Oh, no, we got it back. All fine.
Did we? Is Leona back?
I got it.
Oh,
So,
I see.
in doing so, the party managed to overcome the force that they were faced with, along the way discovering strange and interesting things about these new and fascinating and terrifying mechs they were encountering. Ultimately, while they managed to defeat one, really recognizing that it caused some recognition in one of their party members, most specifically Hyphea, we ultimately ended on the scene of the captain being rescued, unconscious, an absolutely murderous Mahalina charging at and burning all their remaining energy and resultant magic on the fight, leaving them unconscious as well, and the party gathering to take themselves back toward well, the ship to recuperate, to recover, and maybe to work on some things. We start ourselves, for now at least, in the bowels of the Chosen Dark. Troops shove themselves left and right, pushing themselves away out of the way as two figures, two powerful women, stride their way through, each holding a full human body in a bridal carry in both hands. They move their way through corridor, high wood and stone lining their path, soldiers offering slight nods or simply turning away in respect to not look at the wounded. There are other things to be done. Hyphea and Tada, carrying Mahalina and the captain respectively, move their way through corridor and eventually hook a strong left and find themselves directly in the infirmary. As the rest of the ship has not been out to battle recently, it's not too full. One or two unconscious soldier resting here, recuperating. Thus, it's not much longer after they enter that they are immediately confronted by Delara, the motherly dark elven woman who serves as the ship's medic. She asks no questions, says nothing. The moment the two of you enter, she immediately runs over, wheels over to stretchers and says, "They're in there. Hook that one up to that machine over there, please, and push him over there."
Yeah, Hyphea is all action, very responsive to every direction given, and there's it's clear that the arm that was pierced during the battle, the mech arm that was pierced during the battle, has had some kind of like neurological echo into Hyphea, but like it's every so often just like a wince as she's reaching for something and then continuing and pushing through that pain.
Delara definitely looks over and kind of offers us a glance as if she's the closest motion I could give is curious, but doesn't really say much other than kind of like as you pass, putting a hand on your opposite shoulder, not the one that's injured, but the opposite one, and kind of just offering that very firm support of like, please don't overwork yourself. What's Tada doing with the captain right now?
Tada looks very serious. I think the moment that we entered the ship, Tada was almost like barking orders. Like she demanded that those halls were cleared. Like if anyone was in the way, she was like, "Move now!" You know, like there was absolutely zero hesitation in her voice. Like this was an emergency. And so as she lays Lore down on an infirmary bed, she's just silent. She's just doing as she's told. And I think you do hear her, like anyone who's nearby definitely hears her mumble under her breath that she's not going to let him go or let him get away with this.
Well, turns out a certain ancestry with ears made for super perceptive hearing might be able to pick up on this pretty easily, and so I think
Oops.
you might be a bit focused, but I think you would notice as Delara is helping you lower him down onto the bed, she kind of also like leaves a hand over yours for a bit and offers a subtle squeeze, and as you look up, just the very slightest smile.
Thank you.
He'll awake soon. He's not that injured. Just stupid.
That he is.
He looks over at Hell. Hell, what are you up to right now? She's kind of left you with Mahalina.
Yeah, I think that what we catch is this moment of hell, Hyphea.
Whoops.
But you're onto something there because Hyphea is sitting there like in that moment of reaching out and like there's an instinct to like take Mahalina's hand. And when somebody's like been really injured or is sick and you know, like on the threshold, they seem so much smaller than they do normally. And Hyphea is trying to figure out if it's appropriate to hold her hand, wrestling clearly with something that came up during the last sortie.
Mm.
It's like reaching out to grab a hand, but then like putting the hands back on the knees, but clearly not wanting to leave.
Galara looks over, after looking at you, Tada. She looks over at the two of them and kind of like puts both of her hands over yours for a brief moment and then uses that to kind of like stand up, you know, brush herself off a bit, stretch. She runs a hand over the captain. You know, you could see a bit of light greenish blue energy flowing around and sort of light, almost like fireflies glittering around her hand for a brief moment as she waves her hand over the captain and then comes over and places one in the middle of Mahalina's chest and does a similar thing. The fireflies spreading all around her like torso and kind of moving around her and just... Both of them have been worse. They are battered, but they will heal. He will awaken soon, I am certain. She will need time. However, if there is anything a healer can offer to those present, it would be advice. She, without waiting for any like answer, just smiles and just says, "We ply a dangerous trade. The lives we live are fleeting. I have seen so many give their last breaths here that there is little time for things like bickering, or grudges, or hesitations, or what ifs. Mull on that."
Mahalina said something when we were out on sortie. I thought I thought after the other day that I had done something horrible to somebody that she knew and didn't know who I had hurt, but she came to my defense. How did I know her? Do you know? She cared about me.
You are Project Hyphea, leader of what was once the Hellion Battalion and is now the Hellion Division, committer of more atrocities than many in the SSA can even attest to attending to.
We get a shot of Hyphea like making eye contact, but then cutting glances towards Tara, because she does not know how much Tara knew of that before.
Zalara that says, "And yet, has anyone ever said that is all you have to be? Or all you have been?"
It's all that I've known.
She places, kind of like puts her hands on her hips for a bit, seems to mull over something in her head, and then almost like something clicks in her, just looks up. If I heard correctly over the comms, we're headed for a town not too far outside of Orub. We should be able to get some port there and shelter. If I remember correctly, there was this fantastic flying crawfish stand you could grab things from. It's just outside of town. When she awakens, take her there. I think you'll find more than just good food.
And Hyphea will kind of nod, look to Mahalina, stand up, walk to the edge of the bed, then walk back and like lean over and gently kiss Mahalina on the forehead. And that I'm gonna spend my token to heal an injury. If you have any perils, you can get rid of one.
Cool.
And then Hyphea will leave.
Wait. Hyphea. I know you and I haven't spoken much, but before you leave... And she doesn't look up from Lore, so there's no, like, pressure of eye contact. But she says... Is Hyphea at attention right now?
Yes.
She pauses.
Hyphea is... I don't think Hyphea often moves without being, like, in a soldier's posture.
She will pause and she will say, first of all, at ease. Second of all, we are not simply the sum of our past. Every day we have the opportunity to move forward in a way that is different from everything that we have been. Remember that. Take care of yourself.
I am uncommonly good at being all right.
I've noticed that about you.
If that's all.
Yes.
And Hyphea exits.
Hyphea, you exit. Delara looks over to Mahalina and then looks at Tata. And right before she says anything, you start to hear a groan from next to you on the bed, as it seems like the captain is awakened or starting to awaken.
Delara, it's Lore. And she immediately like rushes forward to like not quite touching him. You know, like those like nervous hands like hovering above someone. Like I don't know what to do, but like, oh my god! And she just kind of freezes there because she's not sure what to do.
Delara, as he kind of awakens, Lord shakes his head some, just, oh, what in the hell hit me? Delara runs a hand over his head, like literally through his hair, as like lights go through it. The five of them again, just the front of your own, the inside of your own cockpit to your forehead. Nasty crash. Otherwise, you're functional. You didn't have that many good brain cells anyway.
I thought she was a healer. She just murdered that man. What the
Lord
fuck?
looks over, rolls his eyes, and it's just like, if that's all, Delara. She looks over at Tara. Again, slightest smile and just, I have a thing to attend to elsewhere in the ship. I'll leave you for a bit. She turns to walk off, and don't you worry, we're coming right back there. But just before we get there, Delara begins to walk off, leaving the infirmary, stopping to look back. And as she looks back at the three people who are in the infirmary still, she, to herself mostly, just mumbles, "This war has taken so much from so many. I wonder if there are any who are not scarred by it." And as the camera fades past her face, it cuts briefly to black. And we begin to get something different. The dream starts as fire. It always starts as fire. Incandescent and all-consuming, flickering in every inch of your skin, flaying nerve, muscle, tendon, flash frying everything that you used to be. The dream always begins in fire. Fire, and then home. What does home look like, Cat?
I'm gonna try real hard not to cry during this, but
time.
it's bound to happen, and I'm just giving y'all a heads up. Home is a small town, many wooden homes, and the smell of fresh baked bread. There is a small mechanic shop on the outskirts, and many farmers and other makers that help kind of generate the liveliness of the town. Cat would probably find themselves um, in the market square with probably with their uncle, out shopping for spare parts to help work on whatever needs to be worked on.
You've been looking for this one part for forever, it feels like. The dream just started, but it feels like forever you've been looking, and you can't find it. And just when you hear that familiar voice behind you, your uncle, "Hey, dumbass, it's right over." You turn to look, and it burns away. The part, the shop, him, all of it. It burns. There's flame and agony,
Cat
and
will,
then
sorry if I
oh, go
interrupt.
ahead.
While this is happening, Cat will quickly realize what is happening and kind of scurry, motherfucker,
Take your
kind
time, baby.
of reach out for him as she's like, no, I need to tell him. I need to tell him. As it's almost there. Just ash.
The ash drifts away from your hands. And then you're in the academy barracks again. The village is gone. The people are all gone. But again, you're surrounded by people now. Iron high walls and low ceilings that offer too much noise. People buzzing, faces, lessons stirring in your mind. Information that's far too familiar to you at this point. You don't even know why you're here. But you always end up here again in the dream.
Let's see. They'd probably find themselves in the reactor room. No, in the barracks. They will hold up a locket of a photo of their uncle and kind of tuck it away. God damn tears. Fuck off. Sorry.
You got it, baby, don't worry.
And they will work themselves over to the reactor room and begin working on subterfuge, if that's the right word, making it to where if the reactor is pushed any harder than just an idle, it will quickly begin to overheat, and just laying spike traps for the next time the Black Talon heads out to do a sortie, or fire up any asters. They will quickly find themselves without any power, and that is when Cat will run.
As you are running, you are running past these crowds of people all around you, whispering and looking. No one says anything to you, no one stops you. You're running as the barracks becomes a long hallway that doesn't end and doesn't begin. You run past people with no face, and you can hear just one of them. Your fault. And then somebody else. Your fault. 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 And then the dream ends.
Fucker. Ah, shit, right in my soul. Ow. Fuck. That's as a player. Cat will probably wake up with like a gasp. sitting up real just like all of a sudden just and they'll just curl up and cry. They know it's their fault. They feel every bit of it. And they know that nothing they can do will ever bring him back or bring anyone back. But all they can do is carry on their memories and try to avenge them.
You stay there, remaining quietly to yourself for what, again, seems like far, far too long. And after some time, after a bit of patience, you think, usually you sit here until it passes. No one bothers. No one says anything. No one checks. And as you're remaining here, waiting for the waves to pass, for it to feel just a little bit better, you get a knock at your door.
Cat will like in between, like just almost near sobs, as like they're trying to like quickly compose themselves, say, who is it?
You hear an incredibly familiar voice. It's gruff, chiding, but caring in the same tone as it's being kind of rude. You just hear, "You're being a bit loud in there. I'm coming in." You can tell without anything else. It's Strix.
It's unlocked.
And as they enter, this is officially the part where I start passing things off to you guys. So, everybody here knows how downtime scenes work, and some of you already have your scenes set up pretty obviously, as you can tell. I don't have an order we have to go in specifically. However, we are also at about 45 minutes in even. Would y'all mind, or would y'all? No, actually, no. Let's go right through it. Let's go ahead and just give me like. I want to actually. You know what? I lied. I gotta do one thing real quick. Actually, before we do, I'm gonna do one last thing. One last thing. There's one person I haven't set up properly yet. My fault. The last thing that would be noticed. Actually, you know what? Let's start. Let's turn it over to you here. Gregarious, where'd you find yourself after Sortie ended?
Well, he has various things that he just generally busies himself with. After consulting with the doctor and Strix, he finds himself in the infirmary right as Mahalina is to wake up. Like, he brings a book with him. He's like planning on waiting a while until she wakes up, but so when she comes to, he's just sitting in a chair with the book, and we'll look up and say, "Oh, you're finally awake."
Sorry, my mouse wasn't working. I wake up very groggily, not remembering a lot of what had happened after the big screaming match that I had. And I turn to see Gregarious. I was like, huh. Nope, Strix is not going to be happy with that one.
She's expressed her displeasure, but it seems half-hearted. I think that she would rather you return so she can do the work than not.
Well, that would be a first. She's always told me not to come back after every time. But
Well, she said that. I just don't believe her.
Yeah. Why are you here?
Oh, and then I think like there's a tray next to him, and there's like several bottles, I guess. And he's like, "I've taken it upon myself to make some smoothies, I believe they're called. fruit smoothies. I talked to the doctor. This particular fruit happens to benefit skin regrowth, and I'm not sure how much magical theory that you have studied, but the Magus particles, they're full of those. I believe that this will help you recover and possibly maintain your tattoos for longer. I also additionally, if you don't mind, have some suggestions on maybe how you can keep up your health as well. Exercise routine, sleep schedule, such as that, but I haven't written in a notebook. You don't need to have me bothering you. And he puts them on that tray, and he just like gently slides it to the side of the bed next to you. I think his arm stretches like farther out of his sleeve than it should be able to, so he doesn't have to like get up.
You sound very much like a coach right now. It's weirding me out.
Oh, well, I have been studying some basics of your biological health. I should say biological health in general. It's a new subject for me. I may
You're
have
studying
watched a
about
little too
my
much.
biological health?
I should say the royal you, all of your
Right, okay. I just
squishy
thought it was
friends.
me specifically. Continue.
Well, you do need the most help at the moment, so
I think I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank
respectfully,
you.
I don't think you are.
How can I help you? Other than this, is this all you needed to talk to me about?
Yes, effectively. I just want to make sure you're okay.
I'm alive, aren't I? I'm fine.
And I would like you to continue to do so, but you seem annoyed with the conversation. I'll leave if that's better. The drink, please.
Sorry, I'm just hungry, you know. A coma will do that to you, I guess. But sure. Thanks. And sorry, I didn't mean to be rude or brush you off or anything like that. I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, Gregarious won't stay too long, and he doesn't feel like you can see him hesitate a bit, like he's not sure where else to go with that. He actually expected more pushback, and he's like, "Oh well, if you need anything," and he'll start to get up and like let you heal, I guess.
Before you go, I say, why are you doing
Mhm.
this? I know whatever in general you want everybody to be protected, whatever, whatever. But I think there's more to it.
Yeah, I think he was like halfway to the door, and he stops and, well, I mean, you're right. There's all sorts of tactical reasons. Haifea's mental health, the crew's
Haifea's mental health?
morale. She cares for you.
Did you tell her?
No,
Because if you told her,
but she. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn you into a bucket of bolts.
There's no bolts under this. It's mostly cloth. I understand the sentiment. But no, she believes there must be something simply because you saved her.
You promised me you wouldn't tell her, and I expect that
I
promise
didn't
to
say a
keep.
thing.
Good.
But that's not really the reason I am doing this, or the fact that I'm helping the cook debone I think they called a chicken, later today, or any of the other number of various chores I've decided to take upon myself. I could give you all the data, but in the end, it's really just I've chosen to.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for choosing to help.
And he does like a bit of a bow, like hat off, and puts it back on, and just will sort of walk out of the room. And yeah, he just has like a bunch of different random chores that he just helps his crew members with all the time that he goes out and does, because he doesn't need to sleep, so he has like a lot of extra time.
And so, Mahalina, as you're waking up, the infirmary is able to pretty easily be kind of separated by different partition doors, so you can kind of like separate off people to kind of do their own thing. You almost didn't notice because you were kind of coming out of that haze of unconsciousness, but the part in like the hospital is up, and you look over and notice you can't really super tell at first because they're kind of hidden by the curtain, but there are clearly two people in a bed not too far from you. But as you're kind of looking at their silhouettes more, you kind of start to recognize that you put it together based on last mission. Yeah, it's probably Tada and Lore apparently having a very deep conversation about something, which we'll figure out in just a bit. However,
Mahalina is not going to say a word because I know how that conversation goes, and I don't want to get in the middle of that.
well, so now that's how it goes. So, we're going to find out now that all our players are set in their scenes and good to go. We're going to cut ourselves to a brief break, as somehow that was already an hour. Amazing, right? We're going to cut out for a little bit, and we're going to give ourselves a little time to refuel, defuel, and prep our mechs for combat, even though we're just feeling feelings right now. We're going to combat our feelings, friends. That's what we're going to do. But until we do that, y'all sit tight. Don't go anywhere. And I have an incredibly critical announcement to make. So we started off our set goal to have $500 more than we made last time to put us at a full even 1,000, and we're already there.
Y'all be fucking wild and like,
yeah.
wow.
Shout out to Casanova Frankenstein, Murderous Revenge, Mr. Saito, a good robot boy, and Eggchan for your donations for today. Thank you guys so very much. We'll take time at the end to shout out every single donation we've got. We'll make sure that you all get shout outs for credit for this stream. Thank you all for everything you've done, everything you will do, and everything you think about doing. You are all a part of our fight here. Thank you for that. We will be back at about 5 to 10 minutes. You all shouldn't touch that dial or that browser. We love you so very much, and you're looking pretty good today. Mwah. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
And we return to our part 1 of our 2-part finale of Under Twilight Skies, our Armor Aster charity campaign. First off, I want to thank you guys all for knocking our $1,000 donation goal out of the fucking park. You incredible human beings, you. Let's just keep that shit going, right? We just started to just double that bitch, so we just gonna keep that motherfucker going for as long as we feel like. So keep sharing love, keep giving your energy, and if you aren't able to donate, thank you so much just for being here and for fighting with us in general. That's all we need more than anything else. Mwah. You look great today. That said, we parted with our party a bit split. Everyone resolving their own things and having their own sort of things to take care of. And it seems like an appropriate place to cut back in on is right with our erstwhile Tempest and our wayward captain. Tada, you are sitting there in the infirmary as the captain slowly begins to come to, looking around after Delara berates him for a bit, and then walks off, leaving the two of you in quiet. He looks over and sees you kind of hovering over him with concern on your face and cocks an eyebrow a bit. Tada?
Captain.
It's a bit of a surprise seeing you, but can't say I'm not thankful for it.
Surprise? She's not entirely sure what to make of that. I mean, I was the one that pulled you out of your wreck.
Yeah, I remember that. You saved me.
Captain, permission to speak frankly.
Always.
What the fuck were you thinking?
I wasn't.
What happened?
I've seen those black mechs once before. Only once, but I'll never forget it. When we saw them on the field, I thought I could just walk away from it. Something Something about them just triggered something in me. Do you know where I'm from?
I don't think you've ever told me.
Little village called Gamara. Quaint little place. Not too large. Farm town. A lot of people who settle down there. And you've already seen enough of life. I was born there.
Well, that makes two of us. I too was a small farm girl. Don't know if I ever told you that.
You know? Can't say you did. Makes sense now. He reaches up and pokes your bicep. You got the arms for it.
Thank you.
The smile on his face indicates it's definitely a compliment.
And she's almost annoyed because she's trying so hard to be upset at him, and he's taking this all very lightly, and it's starting to get under her skin a little bit. But also she doesn't want to like fucking lose it on her captain. So for half a second she continues to ramble, and she's like, "Yeah, actually, that's where I found my mech core was in the well of the farm. What makes John Lee unique." What am I doing? Lord, please, please don't do that again. Please tell me how I can help you.
I never asked to be this, you know? Captain, revolutionary, rebel, whatever the hell you want to call us. I never asked for any of this. I had my life set. I had a home. I had a family. And those Black Angels ripped everything down. Everything. And now, people look at me like I'm some kind of leader? Like I'm supposed to know what to do with all of this burning rage inside of me. I got tired of telling other people to lash out for me, and I wanted to do it myself. Was it stupid? Yes. Would I do it again? You know me.
I do know you. You're hot-headed but brilliant. You come up with the craziest plans that we should never make it through, and yet we do. I'm so sorry. This fight has taken so much from all of us.
But it hasn't taken everything, yeah?
Exactly.
I should be the one apologizing. I'm captain. I can't make stupid choices like that. I
But
could have
like
gotten
you
any of
said,
you hurt.
you're right. I won't deny you that. But like you said, this was a role that you didn't choose. It's a lot of weight and a lot of pressure. I don't blame you. I was one of the first people you recruited, right?
Yeah. Way back. A couple years ago. During the Moonflower Festival, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I remember. Storming up onto my ship like, I'm looking for a fight, or whatever it was you said.
Honestly, I don't even remember. I was so angry and, yeah, desperate for a fight.
Ain't we all? Come to think of it, festival's pretty soon, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Get so busy commanding guns and ordering sorties, you forget where the time goes.
It's one of my favorite festivals, actually.
Huh. So, who is he? Or she,
What?
or they, I won't assume.
What?
Your date. If it's your favorite festival, you clearly already have a date lined up, yeah?
I don't.
Impossible. All these fine young strapping crewmen and crew women and crew thems around and you haven't picked a single one yet?
Dada's just like on the edge of exploding with like fury because for some reason everything that Laura's saying is just pushing a fucking button and she's not entirely sure how to deal with it. And I think she just kind of... I think she literally just grabs him by like the lapel and is like, because I want to dance with you.
You... Why?
What do you mean, why?
What's the term? I'm damaged goods, dear. I got miles on my soul.
Who doesn't around here? Lore, if I am the stars, then you are the moon. Yes, you are a captain and you lead this crew, but with everything we've been through, Lore, you're the one person I can't let go. I need to see you get through this. For my sake.
He looks a bit temporarily down at his necklace and just says, huh, so that's what you meant. Looks back up at you and, well, if there's consent, he's just gonna kiss you.
Yeah, she'll accept that.
Leans forward, returns the grasp on his lapels, and just pulls you in for a kiss.
I would
After a
like to
moment.
spend a token.
Oh man!
Oh my god!
Let's see it.
Oh.
Wait. We're still in the infirmary.
Sure are.
Anyway, I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna spend a token to just basically, as soon as Captain goes, I'm damaged goods. It hits Mahalina a little different, and she wants to scold the captain, just be like, hey, dude, here's obviously, in love with you, like, whatever. But, like, it's just me, like, opening the curtain and to them kissing, and I was like, oh. No, don't mind me. It's okay. I'm just gonna make sure, and then like take the whole curtain and closes the whole thing. It's like, all right, and then she grabs a sign that says "Do not disturb." It is like, all right, and if there's anybody in here, I go, nobody disturb this curtained area. And she leaves, making sure like the door is locked behind her. That's all. That's
I
like
get the images is like just a bit after the previous scene. So like you grab like 2 water bottles.
Yeah, I got my smoothies. And I'm like, I'm
Just
feeling
start-
so much better. Like making sure I look at the notebook. And I was just like, you know how some like they just rip off their IVs, whatever. That's what I did. I was
Oh
like,
my god!
whatever. Get my
Exactly.
smoothies, and then just lock the door behind me, and then and I go back. And I go back to my room, to my own quarters.
Thada's just like this, like, did that just happen?
The captain pinches his nose and just, yeah, still working on that one.
Oh boy.
He does, however, yeah, what the hell? He does look up and just kind of cuts his eyes around the infirmary and then looks up at you and just, but while we have the privacy.
Who knows where that goes?
Yeah, I think we'll just take it right there. We'll see what happens next, honestly. Neon Lights Roleplay for all your horny TTRPG needs.
Meanwhile, Vermin's in the other corner doing a dance.
Hit that follow button for all your horny TTRPG needs.
Look, I love to say that when you play RPGs, you are both the content creator and the consumer. And I have just gotten a belly full.
Somebody clip that, please. Fucking hell. All right.
Face hurts.
Oh
This is
my
good
I
content.
can't breathe. Yeah, that was fantastic.
The fucking crew thems, Jesus.
Crew thems!
Crew them. That's it. We're all crew thems from now on. That's it.
Hey, all right.
It just flows. It's just correct.
It's just right.
It's
all right.
just so good.
Well, that said, I guess we're going to step off of that and move on as we actually will kind of cut back away from there to the back of Mahalina as she's walking away from the scene and sort of watches the scene transitions to now show, well, something else entirely as we now have a second scene we're going to come in. I believe this person here knows what order they're going in, so we're going to go ahead and pass it over to them. Hyphea, you were given instructions on what to do once a certain somebody woke up. Let's take it right there.
Okay, so I think what the short before scene is Hyphea arriving outside of Hell's room again, stopping at attention and then realizing that's not appropriate and shifting to parade rest, and saying, Mahalina, I was instructed, if you are feeling up to it, to take you into the nearby town on a brief shore leave.
The door to Mahalina's room slowly opens, and you see Mahalina just leaning. Instructed by who?
The physician.
Can I add something real quick?
Go ahead.
There's a bendy straw.
Yeah, because
in one of
I'm
the
drinking this movie.
scenes. Yeah. I have killed Foxy with that.
Death by bendy straw.
Why?
I'm not certain. If I'm honest, it was a response that I don't understand to a question I very much want to know the answer to. And it's as good a place as any to start.
All right. Let me just get ready. And I close the door, and you hear some moving around or whatever. And
through the door,
yeah.
You hear, Gregarious asked me to try some of those before he brought them to you. Did you end up liking them?
Yeah, I like the mango one. And I come out with an extra one. You want some?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not gonna have to. Ari will get mad at me if I take too much of your.
I'm
calls it
sure it'll
medicine.
be. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
So where are we supposed to be headed towards? Do you know?
And I feel like that's the spot to unless you've got something else that you want to say, hard cut, because I don't remember the name of the town, and I vaguely remember that it was flying.
Crawfish. That's all I
Crawfish.
remembered. Frying crawfish.
Yep.
Flying
The
crawfish.
town wasn't given a
delicious and
name.
terrifying.
Yeah,
Okay.
the town wasn't given a name. It's a small little sort of port town at the edge of the on sort of what's called crust side, on the edge of the of the island, floating island of Orub. It's a decently sized port town. There are kind of struts leaning directly kind of under the croft of the island where ships can be docked, and then you can kind of move up through stairs and elevators up into the sort of surface level town and do things. So Your ship is docked here. This port has always served the rebellion and the Alba freely with no problem. And so, as you were all taking time to get your ship repaired from any damages and your mechs all worked up, and just to let the crew get off the ship and stretch their legs for a while, you were all able to kind of, head up into the town. And we'll kind of cut in on the two of you walking through the streets. It's about 2 turns left at the next sort of like 2 corners. You'll turn left twice and be right there. At least you're assuming so. But you're walking through a town that, strangely enough, amidst all of this chaos and conflict, feels peaceful. People talk and coalesce. There are not peacekeepers running around in armored squadrons keeping the law everywhere. Everyone here just seems to be trying to live their lives as best they can.
I think as the scene comes back up, we get this one moment of like the two of them stopped, and Mahalina starts walking, and kind of instinctually, Hyphea follows at like just behind, and then realizes that that's like not the thing, and like takes a couple of steps to catch up as they make their way towards this stand.
Mahalina, I can't put a finger on it, but this place is familiar. And somehow she recognizes this place like it was almost a dream. And I turn to Hyphea and I go, "Who told you to go here again?"
The ship's physician.
To buy flying crawfish.
Yes.
Okay. And as we're walking, somehow she knows exactly which place it goes to, which stand it is, and she slows down, almost hesitant, almost not wanting to continue, and goes, "Are you sure we have to get flying crawfish? There's like other places. There's other better foods that we can go to, better things that we can try."
If I'm honest, I wasn't asking when I was given the instruction. I wasn't asking to know where I could feed you. The food, to me, is immaterial.
Okay, good. Well, let's go look at something else. Let's go. There's a good place that sells, dumplings that I really love. I used to go there. I think I'm remembering this place. I used to go there all the time. This little dumpling place. I used to go there all the time, and I think you'd like it. Do you want to come with me?
Yeah, I'd like that.
Okay. And I do end up leading her to this little stand that's been here for so long, and it's just little dumplings. And this is one of Mahalina's and Hel's favorite place to go whenever they visit, and it's still standing. After all this time, it's still here. Behind it, though, there is a painting. And when Mahalina sees the painting, it is the painting of Hel. Not Hel as she knew, not Hel as Mahalina knew her, but the martyr Hel. What people knew as Hel. And then I turn to Haifea. Oh, I didn't realize they'd have this up here. Of course they'd have this up here.
Is that? Oh.
That's one of the faces of the fight. The ones they use to inspire rebellion in this war. So that's
My face.
that is your face. That is correct.
And I think one of the things, like, the reason people aren't, like, stopping and staring is, one, Haifea has scars that this face does not have. But also there's... Hell smiles with everything. And that is something, even if the person is different, this image of hell is one that is smiling and beatific and generous. And there is an emptiness left over in Haifea that has not reached that level of joy. That doesn't remember how. You knew me.
You can say that. I did, yeah. Back before I knew her.
You cared about her.
Yeah. You can say that for sure. Let's just get our dumplings and go. I already don't feel like eating here. It makes you uncomfortable too, right?
Little.
Yeah.
I
This
just...
isn't... If it makes you feel any better, this version of her, it's fake. Sure, hell has always been beautiful, passionate, filled with love and joy. But this version of her is too perfect.
We don't have to stay, but... Please. Tell me something you remember about her. I remember... scattered things. Small pieces, but... I couldn't ever tell you who I was, what I cared about. They scrubbed everything from me.
She liked to paint. Do you want me to take you to one of her works?
I'd like that very much.
Okay. And so I lead you to the place where originally we were supposed to go. The crawfish, the flying crawfish. And to be honest, the flying crawfish place is not very delicious. Nobody really likes it there. That's why it's really quiet. Nobody goes there.
They're so hard to catch.
They're so hard to catch. Nobody likes the taste of it, and like
It's a lot of
they don't
work
get
to
many-
get to the meat. I mean,
they don't really want. That's why Hell spent a lot of time painting there, just because they don't get a lot of like foot
traffic, and right there.
There is a mural, and it is not a landscape that you could see from anywhere. It is a bent image, entirely from Hell's mind, but it shows all three of the islands where the revolution was born. And it shows kind of the story of how people first made contact across the islands, and the way that they would transport to each other. And every time two people are meeting, there are these large 3-petaled flowers growing around their feet. And when you stand and you look at the painting for long enough, you can hear warm conversations that aren't happening around you. You can smell the pungent scent of those flowers when they're open. And you can feel the warm breeze that is only present at the edge of one of the islands when the wind is blowing across from one of the other flying islands. There is magic infused into her very brush strokes.
You
How's
don't
been-
mind. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say to Haifea that Hell's always been magical. This is one of my favorite works of her.
Roxy, if you were gonna cut away, I have a little bit more for the scene, and then I'm ready.
Oh, I'm not cutting away. I'm staying right
Okay,
here. Trust
cool.
me. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
I just wanted to add that you would notice, I mean, as you look at the original work, its memory is fragmented, obviously, for you, but it's not hard to tell that there's something you definitely know for a fact the original artist didn't put to this piece. Just above the 3 islands is a figure. It's humanoid and large, all-encompassing, big enough to kind of background the entire piece. Arms encompassing the whole of Nor Aldratel, long locks like starlight and crimson moon spray, all around. It's a figure that, Mahalina, you would certainly know, as you've heard people talk about this. They call her Eluna, goddess of healing and the moon and of revolution. She's a figure who has come to, well, for some people, to be a figure of this fight, of this revolution, much like Hell was. To others, she is a very, very real goddess. There are even some who say that enough people believe in her, that enough force of will has been brought to this place, that enough people are fighting back, that mayhap, somewhere beyond this plane, that God has truly been born. The God of free people and revolution amidst the moonlight.
sunflowers.
Yeah. Sunflowers.
I told you that I'd get you sunflowers every year. And then when they weren't in bloom, I would paint them for you.
What?
And in the spring, when the soil was still wet and she looks down and she's crying, when the soil was still wet, we would take them in our hands, the seeds from last year, and we would put them in the ground together. And we would start the process anew for as long as we knew each other, for as long as we were in love.
Phil? Is that you? Do you remember?
Remember that. I remember that piece.
Mahalina straightens up, wiping the tears from her eyes. And you can see that she's closing in again and says, Hell is long gone. I don't expect you to be her. You are your own person. You have your own path. I can't hold you back from that. Do you understand?
I'm dead, though. I'm not cut off. It's a river. It flows through me. It's been there all the time. I just couldn't come back to it. And look, I still love Ari, and I don't know what this would look like, but all of these feelings are still real. I feel them as strongly as the day I said them.
At this point, Mahalina is going to reach for your face. With consent, will kiss you. And it will be a deep kiss, and as the kiss ends, she goes, You feel alive to me.
You feel alive to me, Mahal.
And she goes in for another kiss. Because it's perfect.
It's even more gay the second time.
It's super gay.
Yeah, I think we part there as people watch, but no one says anything. The only thing you would notice as you two remain here, as you stand in this center spot, is the magic bristling and blooming, Hell's very life force imbued in this piece, flowing through the both of you like a warm embrace. And something else, something distant, but oh so powerful, for just a moment. And as we cut away from there, we move on to our next scene. We step back in the ship towards the quarters of one young catalyst who has now been greeted by the Lady Strix, who has entered their room. How's Cat looking right now?
They have composed themselves enough to where they are not actively crying. But like their face is red, their eyes are puffy, and their breaths are still just a little bit shallow. And they'll just try and like, you know, like when your parents walk into your room and you have like 2 seconds to think of just like a sleeping position, kind of like that, but like emotionally, just be like, hey, oh, what's up?
Strix walks in and sits directly on your bed next to you, Cat. Just so, nightmares, lost loved one, Missing somebody?
All three, actually. I probably shouldn't, but I blame myself for all of it. And just every day I served that ship, I regret. But to be fair, I didn't know at the time what it would lead to.
Want to hear a story I heard in a bar once?
Just tell.
Talking to a guy. Guy tells me that he's in town on business. He's been plying the ship trade, you see, bouncing from crew to crew, doing whatever he can to make money where he can.
Mm-hmm.
I ask him why. Says he's on the run. Excuse me. Says he's on the run. From home, see? Then he corrects himself and he says, well, I'm running away from what used to be home. I ask him to elaborate. He doesn't, at first. I ask him again, after I knock him on his ass. He answers. Turns out, man had a wife. A real good one, too. But, shitty thing about partnerships is that if you don't get everything you give, you start to want. Yeah? So, this guy here decides to just go snooping. You can see her kind of like distancing her stare as she goes to the story. Finds out his wife has another man. He gets angry about that. He kills him. He goes on the run. Not from the law, but from vengeance. Her hands clench in some. Yeah, from himself. Funny thing about vengeance, though, is it still finds him. It finds him in the back corner of a ship from a crewmate he never thought he'd suspect. It finds him with two hands around his throat, tight, till he stops breathing. And that's what you get when you kill a woman's father. Thought it'd make me feel real good. Getting back for what happened to him. It didn't. So I did the same thing the poor bastard who murdered my father did. I ran from it. Bounced from ship to ship. And I ended up here. Somehow. Now I fight with all you kids. Patch up your boo-boos, tell you what to do.
Saying from like jumping from ship to ship, Cat will pipe up. I guess we aren't so different after all. Although I guess I jumped fewer ships than maybe you or he did.
Number of ships you jump don't matter. What matters is what you leave behind every time you do, yeah?
Yeah. But yeah.
Listen, kid. I don't believe in a lot of things, but Aluna's been good to me my whole life. She's a kind goddess, but a wrathful one. She's got very simple creeds, turns out. Live for something. And when you lose that something, find something else. She kind of cocks her head a bit, looks at you almost very knowingly, and just says, even if you maybe can't have that something.
Motherfucker. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. Cat will chuckle knowingly. Just yeah, but and she'll kind of like look up at this tier 4 that's already gotten like a surprising amount of panels like already like torn off and disassembled. That won't stop me from trying. I've got a lot to make up for and a lot of work to do.
About keeping them
And
safe and happy, even if they ain't yours. Yeah?
That will get a genuine laugh out of Cat. Ain't that the truth?
Grix literally just puts an arm fully around you, Cat, and laughs with you for a while. And it's just like, it's a stupid thing, love. Yeah?
Yeah, but what can you do?
And she looks away in a way that tells you she's very clearly not talking about you and you know who. But
Yeah.
instead it's just like, but the thing that makes it work is seeing them happy. Regardless. Yeah?
Yeah.
Why every time they crawl back, we keep patching them up, giving them new things. No matter how reckless or stupid they are with them. We keep giving them new things. So we believe in their fight, and we'll fight with them.
Yeah.
Just remember, not every fight's got to be out there, she says, pointing out the window to like a sort of open battlefield area. You got a lot of this, Cat. Use it more often. There's a lot of fight you can do here, too. I help mine fight by putting tattoos back on her whenever she needs them. You can help yours in a lot of different ways. Not just out there.
Yeah. Problem is that these feelings got hands.
Hey, Cat, you been in a fight? This is not a character, by the way. You been in fights before? Like, street fights?
Street fight? No.
Cool,
As
Strix
a player, I have not. Oh. Well, Cat, let's see. Cat, let's see. Hang on. Cat is quick enough with her reflexes, considering like her like how they pilot their Asterns, their Ardent and stuff, that they would either be able to like just shift shy of it, or like if let's see. That'd be pretty strong. She'll try and catch it.
Catch it. No problem. You catch the fist right here, like an inch or two from your face. Red and knuckled. Strix from behind, tilts her head a bit. Smiles at you. Then fight back.
Okay. Cat will have a devilish smile come across them, and kind of instead of just stopping the punch, she'll actually grab the fist more and pulling themselves off the bed and sweep for the legs.
Roll 2d6 for me real quick.
Roll 2d6.
Yep.
That is a 5 and a 5.
Not bad at a 10. Fortunately, she rolled an 11.
Damn it!
You sweep the leg. You hit the leg, and it's like hitting a tree trunk. Strix is an orc. She's bulky.
Oh fuck! I forgot.
You hit her
That's
leg.
a twink.
Yeah, you hit her leg, and she just grips the arm back and shoulder checks you towards the door. You collapse in a heap, roll, and she just laughs and goes, "That's the spirit. Go find the captain."
Oh wait, I got a +2 catalyst just in case. No draft.
Oh no! Too late. Oh, no.
Look, it is only right that the bull dyke beats the twink. That's how gay rock, paper, scissors works.
It's just the laws of nature.
Science.
Yeah. Science. Mass. Bill Nye the Science Guy. How'd you get in my house?
Oh my god!
I don't know the how, but I think we all know the why.
Well,
Oh.
with that said,
That's two excellent clips in a row.
yeah, I know, right?
I'm sorry.
Without saying anything else, Strix walks past your collapsed heap and out of the door, reminding you again to go find the captain.
Yeah. Cat, let's see. If they have the strength, they'll probably like sit up, catching their breath and stuff, and ask, "Hey, Strix, do you know how many light arms we have in storage? Like, medium weight, enough to damage an aster."
Have to go do some digging around the supply list, but we got enough spares that we can equip the entire crew and maybe still have a few left. What do you need?
More. I'll sort it out myself. Worry not.
She smiles and just says, "I'll call some people."
You don't have
That's a very
to,
sinister
Wait, hang on, wait, no. Need more guns. Need more teeth. And she'll kind of like look back at the tier 4, get a mischievous smile, and catch their breath the rest of the way, and then head off and find the captain.
You make your way through, sliding around. I'm gonna stop the music, by the way. Sliding around and moving quickly towards the infirmary. As you're moving that way, I want to stop and quickly check in on. Actually, you know what? Let's do it this way to make up for time properly. Let's say actually, as you're sliding past, moving towards the infirmary, you pass by the hangar and you get a good shot of Gary in the hangar, who's been just idly tinkering and working on some things. Let's move the camera through the door of the hangar and into focus on that for a bit. Gary, why don't you go ahead and take us in? What's happening with you right now?
So, Garius normally has like the whole button-up shirt and suit and tie thing going on over these like black wrappings, the mask, the hat, all of that. His tie is off and his coat and shirt are unbuttoned, and it's just still wrappings. But you can see that he has delicately moved several like away from his own chest, and there's like this glass orb there under it. And he has some sort of like, it's basically like like a screwdriver that is projecting energy, and it looks like he's tinkering with his own chest, and then he looks up at the mech, and then he'll like make notes, and he's partway through this process as he's like upgrading himself. And is, I think, obvious to Cat, upgrading his mech along with him. Or at least that's what he's about to do. I think at one point you see him like kind of absentmindedly try and reach for the mech, but like this rig to keep his chest open is stuck to the chair, so he like can't move. He's like, and then writes notes down.
There are a couple crew members who are kind of like working on their own things, and every now and then you see one kind of like just glance a bit over and then look back. No one seems to mind. You still catch some eyes, obviously, but in the same way, like, something that happens weird in your city might catch your eye, and you kind of just look and go, okay, and keep it moving. No one seems to mind you too much, Gary. And in fact, I think you've noticed that seems to be a notable shift from the time you first got here. There's definitely been a general shift of like, what in the hell is this robot person doing here? To, oh, right, yeah, that's Gary. He's a bit weird.
Which is entirely fair. Like, that's his internal process. Like, yes, I am quite odd. This is an entirely fair reaction as he's still tinkering. But yeah, he is eventually going to move on to messing with his mech. But for now, this is just what he's occupied with.
I think let's go ahead and pull Cat in here as you're walking by and you see Gregarious engaging with himself and his mech. You want to stop in there for a bit?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I think Cat would like briefly see Gregarious like tinkering away, and just be like, "That's odd. He normally doesn't do that out in the open." And kind of like enter and go, "Hey, G, what you up to?"
Well, you might actually be able to help. I am trying to modify my own core to imitate the prismatic core of my mech. My arcanic alignment actually is what dictates the alignment of my own mech. It's actually quite neutral normally. So if I can operate on myself...
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah. Well, it's the same as any prismatic core. I'm just doing it more internally, and that frees up space on my mech for other things. Better sensor array is what I'm thinking of right now, but I would definitely take your advice on that. You are an excellent mechanic. But if you could actually open that panel and just like pointing with the thing, I do need to get a better look.
Yeah, and Cat will kind of like acrobatically kind of just like hop themselves up and like jump off of places that like appeared that like you would obviously slip on, but Cat just like clambers up easily and like
Mountain goat feet.
pops out like a wrench out of fucking nowhere and just pops this panel open. And let's see, let's take a look. And they'll actually feel around for the like the prismatic like energy and stuff. What, Foxy, what the fuck did you... Okay, whatever. Sorry.
Do you think? Don't
I'm
mind
gonna keep continuing and kind of speak over her shoulder and say, well, if you're wanting to sync up two cores, you primarily need to... Goddamn vermin. I'm sorry, ADHD brain.
For chat, Vermin is making very good jokes.
Yeah.
No have said. Vermin put butthole wrench in the Discord chat. Don't have said. It's
What? What?
I was gonna let Vermin deliver
Butthole
it.
wrench.
I was talking about boob pocket, okay?
This is also
when you
fair.
got a wrench that comes out of nowhere. Butthole wrench.
What?
It's in the titties, goddammit.
Oh, you're right.
God
You're
damn
right.
Anyways,
Slight disappointment, but anyways, Kat will go on and like explain like, well, it's pretty hard to sync up two cores, especially with the distance associated with. Let's see here. Are y'all two running at the same heritage?
yes. This is actually something I've been doing for a while now. I'm just expanding it, and like sort of finishes up with this thing as his neck is like extending and craning to be able to see the right angle. It's like, yeah, and removes all these little like hooks, and the wrapping goes back around his core. He buttons his shirt and his jacket up. It's like, here, let me show you. And he's going to like also sort of just stretchy man his way up.
Like
And now
like
they're
Plastic
just, like,
Man.
A little bit, yeah. And now they're just like both hanging at this improbable angle over like the open chest of his mech. It's like, yeah, they have to be the right heritage. And you'll notice, and then like pointing to this, there's this shaft here that lets my core interact with this one. It closes the distance really well. And then more technical stuff that I think Kat and Gregarious would know that neither of us.
Mm-hmm. Kat would definitely be like, oh, there's your problem. You're like your what the fuck is it? Like the power cleaner. Like it cleans out the signal.
It's whatever the fuck we want. It's a tabletop
Yeah.
game.
fucking mech. Man,
Power modulators.
It's the fucking phase energy transmuter reductor. I don't
Yeah,
fucking
the
know,
power
man.
cleaner.
The power cleaner.
The power cleaner
Power
is
cleaner.
out of tune. Here, let me just, and then they'll like take the wrench and kind of like use it as a bit of a screwdriver and like turn a screw as like listen real keenly, and
I think this moment would highlight their two very different engineering styles, because Gregarious like, that's not the okay, like that's not the tool you're supposed to. I'll not interrupt them.
It
but
works.
also, like,
It works. And like it isn't like a click that like fixes it. It's more of like two puzzle pieces like sliding slightly together to fit just right.
I imagine there's almost like the right sound of the screw going in.
Yeah.
Like a very satisfying "Yeet."
Yes. And it's like, that should do it. That should do you real good. And
Yes.
if I do remember, that Hellion Master we got should have a fantastic sensor suite on it. If we have gotten the report on that yet, but afterwards.
That was actually my next task. We can, if you'd like, and we'll gesture to it, but...
I actually have other matters to attend to, my dear friend G. But I will need you later, however. I have an idea.
Your ideas are
And-
always surprising and erratic, and I love them.
Cat will just giggle, just like, thanks. And they will kind of hop down, kind of just pink, 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 and then kind of land, roll, and continue walking on their way.
Garrus will just move on to that mech and just analyzing it, doing a report on it, stuff like that, but I'm always running the token to mess with my own mech.
So, Kat, you're moving still down the hallway then?
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, we're gonna let you make your way toward the infirmary, and this is probably around the time.
I was just gonna say, Kat probably runs into Dada, who is actually leaving the infirmary, and is like probably about to head past the hangar, and like isn't entirely paying attention. I think just absolutely like walks into Kat.
Let's see. Cat would definitely. Well, no, they're looking for the captain right now. Yeah, their mind is like formulating a plan, so they probably also are like looking but not seeing, and yeah, definitely bumping into each other is how they're like.
Sorry. Hi.
Hey, I actually had a question for you, if you don't mind. You don't look too good. You okay?
I'm okay. I was just talking to the captain. He's resting now.
Okay. Actually,
All of y'all, shut up!
what's going
I
on?
saw everyone's fucking reactions. Everyone's fucking reactions. All y'all, shut up.
Oh, I am slow mentally. Jesus Christ.
Yes, that's what they call it now.
Shut up!
Try
Everybody,
not to
shut up!
look, just so that I
Fuck
wouldn't react.
me! The number of looks that I got for saying that. What? Can y'all?
It was that immediately after Kat saying, "You don't look so good," and immediately my think is like, "Yeah, you seem kind of flushed.
I
Are
hate
you
all of
clammy?
you.
Is everything
I
okay?"
hate. Go away! I hate all
And
of
then
you.
it's
Let
like
me
the
have my
captain is
moment.
resting. I bet he is.
Ah, it's my
I know you
stomach,
can hear my
please.
thoughts, Bart. Horny.
Let me have my emotional scene. I hate all of you.
Sorry,
Fuck.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, back to it.
Oh
I'm so
God,
sorry.
y'all are so horny.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. It's funny as hell.
All right. My fault. Returning back
Um,
to that.
You were saying something, Kat.
Yeah, about the captain. Is there something that we're doing wrong? I'm no stranger to desertion, but I always know that there's some reason to leave. Some reason to not turn back. And I just need to know that if I'm doing something wrong, I need to know.
No. No, that's not what this is at all. Let's just say that the captain seen those dark mechs before, and I guess seeing them kind of set him off a little bit.
It does for me too. But I guess we both deal with our troubles in separate ways.
Mm-hmm.
But enough about me. You okay? You need anything?
I'm okay.
And Cat will, if that's a lie, Cat will give you like that knowing smile and just like, you can tell me.
I guess it just feels like a lot's going on. Overwhelming.
Need a place away from it all?
Yeah.
Cat's smile will grow in a very familiar way to you, Tara. And Cat will go, I know just the place. Follow me. And they will lead you back to the their the little workshop area, and kind of just like open one of the hangar doors and not bother to close it after. And they will climb into their ardent, and say, gesturing you to follow them.
In there?
Yeah.
Is there room?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little tight, but I won't mind if you
I
don't.
trust. I don't mind. I trust you.
And so as like we get like a third person view, like the you okay? Are you okay, Vermin?
Well, one, my eyeball is sweaty, but two, just taking a peek, doing my reacting. We're good.
So Cat's Ardent is not at all like the normal, like you walk into it, you see a chair, you turn around and then sit down. God damn it, Turk. God damn it. Okay. I'm gonna have to close stream and close Discord so I can actually think. Both of y'all's. No, both stream and in Discord. Both of y'all, yeah. So it's more of just like you climb in through these two ridges in the back, as is like the entryway kind of, and it opens up into almost this kind of egg shaped cavity where there is kind of just this dark red kind of seat that you kind of just like fall into forward, and it's the actual like material is like a soft fabric that is very cool to the touch.
She'll just kind of like do her best to settle in and not say a whole lot. Just kind of see where this is all going.
And so as so once Tara's in, the back plates kind of scallop in, and there is a piece of the same material that pushes the back into Cat a little bit, so it's kind of like a sandwich a little bit. And kind of the lights inside this cavity kind of light up as the Ardent kind of wakes up and stuff. And it is, for you, Tara, it is not very bright at all. Like, it is kind of hard to see a lot. There's a few like black on green monitors, like with just green text going down, and there's really only one thing that you're really able to see. It's on this little metal strip that kind of goes around and all the monitors are hanging from and attached to, and there is a little jerry-rigged almost lamp sort of a photo of Tara pulling Cat out of their previous Aster, and the little LED light is almost entirely focused on Tara and her smile. And Cat will kind of have a little hookup that goes into their suit, and you feel the actual whole body move up, and Cat will go, "Oh right, you can't see," and they will flip a switch, and there is a tiny little screen that will pop up and be a small viewport, and they will begin climbing up the wall.
Where are we going exactly?
Outside, I guess you could say. Yeah, and as they climb through the wall, or up the wall, they will kind of lift up a little vent and crawl to the outside of the ship, and kind of clamber around for a little bit further, and then finally meet a recess where there was something crashed into the armor of the into the ship, and kind of just settle in, and the rear hatch will open up.
This is gorgeous. Do you come here often?
Yeah. And Cat will kind of pop up next to you, I guess, if you've like sat up and looked at the view and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good place to just take a breather, clear your mind, your thoughts, and try and deal with emotions. But yeah, and they'll kind of take a moment and be like, "Have you eaten today?" Which is very commonly a question that Tara asks Cat.
Yes, it is. And Thada pauses and she goes, I don't think I have. Now that you mention it.
Cat will chuckle to themselves, reach down into the compartment, and pull out two wrapped sandwiches, and hand one to Tara and say, I started carrying these ever since you told me to.
Wait, you started doing what?
Carrying food in case I ever got stranded.
Thank you. And she'll take a sandwich and munch.
You will find it is that peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I thought you didn't like these.
I don't. You do.
God.
And they will unwrap their own sandwich.
I think it is at this moment that Dada just kind of bursts into tears and just starts crying.
Cat will. Damn. Be like, hey, and they'll kind of like pull you close and like just pull you in, have your head rest on her shoulder, kind of just, hey, you're okay. Okay. You can let it out.
And she cries for a moment, and eventually she just says, I don't understand what it is that I, a daughter of the revolution, has done to deserve such pure love. I feel unworthy.
And I don't understand what kind of monster that I be is deserving of your time.
You can always have my time. And in another universe, in another lifetime, maybe even more than that. I don't know if knowing any... I can't believe I didn't realize this sooner, and I don't know if it would have made any difference, but... Cat, you mean the world to me. I'm sorry. It
You
just-
mean so much more. You have nothing to be sorry about. You are perfectly okay. Sometimes we don't know the mistakes we make until it is far too late to even fix them.
It feels like the captain needs me right now. But I don't want you to think that that means I think any lesser of you.
No, don't just nod. You spread yourself so thin. You care so much. And I admire you for that. It is amazing.
And can I be selfish and ask you to stay by my side?
It would be selfish of me to leave.
Foxy, are you okay? Am I breaking you? Did I make Foxy cry?
You made both of us cry.
Two for one. Oh god, my wig.
Episode 3 of Under Twilight Skies, Chouse's Revenge.
Ah, you son of a bitch!
The Revenge of Chouse.
You son of a bitch! Wait, all right, give me the fucking, give me the guitars back, goddammit, give me the guitars back, fucking.
I also got chat too.
Full crap. I thug tiered a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. It was a single thug tier. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Ow, my
It's
feels
okay, little one. You can go.
I think they just stay there for a bit, and eventually, once they've both probably cried their tears out, they'll probably return. But I think that's a good place to kind of zoom out from that scene.
I think it's actually a perfect place to put us in an interesting scene, as you are all returning to a couple of things. One, as you make your way back into the hangar, you'll notice one, your two other squad mates who had left have returned and are also in the hangar. Mahalina and Hell are together walking into the hangar. Anything appear noticeably different about the two of you?
With consent, we would be holding hands.
Figure I just had to check in. Cool. Yeah.
Yay!
Before we get to anything else, I think there's this moment of like they're walking into the hangar, they're talking, and like definitely for the first time since coming to the ship, we see, because there's all of season 1, right? We see Hel Hyphea smiling, and then there's this moment of wait, and is Gregarious still unraveled?
I think he is in like his suit now. He's working on this enemy mech. He probably has like their whole sensor array out, and he's just like slowly unpeeling that from the mech. But he's there.
Yeah. So Hyphea is gonna kind of climb up next to him. Ari, I need to talk to you about something.
Yes.
I'm awkwardly standing in the background.
Still holding hand.
No, we've
No, he let
separated
go.
at this point.
Okay.
At this point, like Hyphea would have to hold her up.
I remember before everything, I knew Mahalina. And I didn't talk to you about this before, but when everything came back, we kissed, and I hope that's not a problem.
I feel like of anybody, Hyphea can read like Gregarious' emotions better than like any other living person alive. He doesn't have facial expressions. I think I've expressed that there's like, I guess, a static electricity, a temperature around him that if you know him, you're like, oh, that's his equivalent of facial expressions. I think that Hyphea would get a small amount of, I don't know, like reservation when she's like, oh yeah, I found this out. But when you ask about the kiss, it's like relief. It's like, is that something I should be worried about? It seems fine. You two like each other very much, I assume.
I thought you might say that. I just feel like I should let you know. Because I still care about you very much as well.
And yeah, I think that his hand does that like unraveling thing and like holds your whole arm for a second. It's like, and now you.
Comes closer. Like, yeah, I think what Hyphea does is take the kind of wrappings and like curl her fingers to like pull closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's it still has to be like sort of a side hug because we are on top of like a mech that he's been working on.
Hyphea like grabs a handle. It's fine, but just like the kind of space between the shoulder and the neck, or like what makes up for that. Thank you for everything. I love you, Ari.
And I you. And I will, forever.
And I am still drinking a smoothie.
It just in the back. That like slight moment of. I'm glad she's enjoying those.
They're quite good. Thanks.
I had to get the cook's help. I don't have taste buds.
Cool. Cool. This is weird.
I think it's
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, please.
he'll unspool himself. and just let them down. I was going to also lead into whatever the next thing
Yeah,
is.
I was gonna say, I think it's as you were all sitting in this awkwardness that it's the captain finally comes in and joins you, just still nursing his head as also Kat and Tada make their way in and like come out of the Arden, I assume, and everything. The captain just looks and, "Three, you okay?"
Yeah.
Again, smiling, Hyphea says, "Never better."
Yeah, weird day for all of us.
I
My
bet
day
it was.
Not at all.
I'm upset.
No,
I'm leaning
No,
back because I
fucking
remember
boy.
where I left you, and I would go, I bet it was.
So I should clarify, by the way, the look he has before saying this is very much just like a complete shock that Hyphea Hell is smiling, and just like, it's very much like I have had enough shocks today. This is just one too many. And then, as you say, "Oh, I'm sure it is," he just kind of stops and just, and in a very great callback to episode 1, just shut.
Same callback,
Incredible.
just in the background.
Thank you.
Humans are strange, or mortals are strange beings.
And it's as that happens that the remaining two rejoin the group, and we find our group all here gathered in the hangar around Gary and Kat's collective workspaces. There's, mech parts and desks with notes and writing and research all over the place, and other crew
Very
members
neat
are all
handwriting
kind
of
of,
Gary.
Yeah.
Very chaotic handwriting of Cat.
of course. Other crew members and pilots are all working and fixing up things, prepping up and working on things, and the captain just says, "Well, here we are. One hornet's nest kicked. One war started. What now?"
I have a few ideas that I've been chewing on. Captain, you remember that crystal I nabbed from that sortie bit back?
Captain leans in, draws a cigar from like a bandolier on his setup, flicks a finger so it lights in magic, and just go on.
And this tier 4 we have most recently acquired.
Hell of a catch. What about it?
I propose that we combine the two. The spheres have enjoyed their air superiority for, say, a bit too long. And a very, very evil grin will slide across Cat's face.
The
Let's go ahead and
captain
take that from them.
The captain walks literally directly over next to you, Kat, looks at your desk, and starts looking at all the schematics and things you've been laid out, and just, an anti-air cannon. Catalyst, you're some kind of
Many.
fucking genius.
Thank you, Captain.
And just, we'll have to divvy up that power source, though. That crystal is going to be too powerful to divert through that many guns at one time. Someone or something needs to fragment it. Could I put you on maintaining that resonance while I funnel my own magic through it?
That could work. Yeah? Is enough?
It would keep you off the field.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
I think so. There's only so much that I can do in PT, and they'll kind of nod over to their Ardent. I would like to offer a hand to... it's a dumb idea. And they'll kind of nod it away.
Captain just says, "I've known you for a bit. You don't have dumb ideas. Crazy ones. Many. Not dumb ones, though."
Oh boy, I'm about to top that list again. And they'll go, "We speak and stand up for the ones who have had their voices taken away and are not able to speak or stand up for themselves. And from what I know about the Hellion Division is that they fit that description more than anything else. And I know even you may laugh, but was wanting to offer them a choice. After everything that the spheres have stripped from them, taken from them, torn from them, threatened them with violence if not kept in a neat, orderly line, to give them the choice to leave. It might make a few turn. I don't know if all of them would. Hell, I doubt if one, but it feels like the right thing to do.
It's worth a shot. Can't promise we'll get all of them. If we get one or two,
Yeah.
hey. Listen, you focus on getting these guns online and keep our own folks safe out there while we can. If we get an opportunity to talk to one of those things, we'll see what we can do. But don't let it cloud your head, all right?
Will do.
It's a war. Not everyone gets choices.
That's true.
But that's what we fight for, right? So more
Yeah.
people get choices.
That's what we do. Even through the odds, we do what's right. That's who we are.
Which leads to our problem, says looking at all of you. We're officially in the midst of a war, and we're down some of our biggest guns. The artists we can get, the asters we can get repaired, the guns we can get online, but some of us, well, some of us are less fueled than they used to be, he says, clearly looking over at Mahalina. And that's only one of us. A lot of us are battered. We need something. AA guns are great. They'll give us more punch. But I've seen, well, we've gotten reports. The Hellion Division's active in every war zone we can find them on, not just ours. But specifically, we've gotten reports of one of them. Just as black and foul as the other, but faster, stronger, deadlier. A leader of some kind.
At that, we get a cut of Hyphea kind of looking over at Gregarious, rolling her shoulders, and just like a quiet nod.
What's your thought,
There's a
Captain?
nod back.
Oh, go ahead.
I just nod back. That's all I was gonna say.
I'll be honest. I don't have much. I've gathered every resource we can, talked to every faction we have on call, every force we have before our next fight. One last big push on the rock itself.
I'm gonna have to talk to Strix.
If the Hellion Division is deployed everywhere, that means that that unit is spread thin. They won't be able to scramble more than, what, one or two to any specific location. That means the general is vulnerable.
You think she'll be on the field?
With how thin
We
they
know
are,
her.
they'd have to
She
be.
will be.
She has
And
to make
what?
a show of being strong when she's at her weakest.
Indeed. In that case, my plan's sealed then. We hit the Pale Hold. For those of you who are aware, the Pale Hold is a massive, independent, small floating rock that the SSA have turned into a massive prison complex fortress. It is the center point of most of their military power in the region, and often where Commander Laurel is said to issue commands from. It is considered the single most well-defended point in Nor Aldratel. It is suicide to charge it alone. Even with every single force you can muster, The odds don't look great.
We've never really worked with the odds.
Never liked math. Which is ironic coming from Cat.
I love that so much.
Made of math.
I hate math.
Do we have some kind of intel that would help?
As far as we know, the only thing I can do is guarantee that currently our erstwhile commander is deployed right there, which makes our mission simple. Take and hold. We capture Commander Laurel, or worse, shoot her down. The SSA loses a large amount of its military power, and even more than that, a figurehead.
I'm in.
Do a lot with a figurehead. Good.
Oh, that's all she had to say was, I'm in.
The captain looks at Tada and gives a very firm nod.
We need an upper hand, right?
Something.
I mean,
We need bait.
maybe
We need the chance to reclaim something for them that they're not going to get again, where they'll put all of their attention.
What do you have in mind?
And Haifea is going to look at Mahalina and at Gregarious. High Apothecary Odessa wants me back. The experiment's not done.
You're
How about
offering yourself.
no?
If it pulls them away, that woman
Um,
is obsessed.
Is this wise?
Again, no one heard what I just said. How about no?
What have you got then? I'm happy
Anything.
to do anything else.
I mean,
What if
is
Catalyst rigged up
Aluna.
multiple explosions and we laced them in multiple places? Other distractions.
How are you going to get close enough to the rock to do that? Look,
You can't.
their rig
Not-
is small, but it's not small enough to go undetected by an entire battalion.
Their sensors are too precise. There is talk of a goddess, Aluna. If we could maybe find what it is that reciprocates their power, we might be able to use it in some sort of way. I'm not too inclined with the magics.
You speaking gibberish, Cat? What are you getting at?
Uh, when a deity is, I guess, born, you could say, there is something in the material world that harmonizes, you could say, with their force. And it's like a feedback loop. They just bounce off of each other. If we could tap into whatever that thing may be, I still don't know what it is, but it has to do something with revolution. That's what she's a goddess of revolution and change.
Hmm.
I don't.
If we could harness that, it'd be a potent magical force to ally with our own. How we'd use it is another story, but you're right. Our first question is, if the goddess of revolution truly has been birthed in the god plane, what manifestation could come in the world? What thing could be a symbol of her power?
Gods, I wish I knew.
I got a theory,
It-
a voice says from behind all of you.
But sure.
It's Strix. Captain, good to see you on your feet. Maha. She looks over at, like, Hell, and then back at you, and then back at Hell, and back at you. Doesn't say anything, though. Aluna's goddess, as she says this, she begins to kind of, like, move and roll up the kind of, like, slight sleeves of her shirt so you can see even more of her tattoos. Aluna is goddess of revolution, of change, people who rise, like a changing moon, like a swirling, shifting tide. As she lifts her last arm, or her last like sleeve all the way up over her arm, you could see a full piece covering her entire shoulder. It's 3 interlapping crescent moons with colored gold and red bands inside of them. If she's a moon goddess, then the thing that manifests her has been under our noses this entire time.
The eclipse.
A moonflower.
Moonflower.
Cat will have a flashback of like kind of home, of like wandering around the forest at night and seeing a little tri-petaled flower that almost glows, and Cat will kind of exclaim, "That's it, I guess. It has to be."
You ain't been wrong yet, Captain says.
What's that? Oh, like you said, Captain, it's worth a shot.
Moonflower Festival's tonight. It's Blossom Night.
So who's gonna be my date?
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not smart enough to understand what's going on, but I have no idea what you're all talking about.
The captain folds his arms. We're gonna harness a new goddess's power and use it to fuel something. What? I don't know yet, but something.
Awesome. Can I get more tattoos, Strix?
That's actually where Strix kind of cuts in and just says, "This is where my brain really starts percolating. Hate to say it, kids. None of you all are going to the festival tonight."
Is
Gonna get
everyone getting tattoos?
Everyone getting tattoos.
Oh my god, that'd be kind of
That would
great,
work.
actually. That'd be kind of banger.
I'm gonna be honest, friends. That wasn't the scene I was moving towards, but if y'all want that, I can absolutely be the thing that happens
Is
here.
everyone getting tattoos?
Do y'all want to do that?
Getting tattoos.
We're okay. You know what?
All
Let's literally. You know what? Fuck it. Here we go. Let's hard cut there. You know what? Watch this. Here's all right. You know what? Watch this. Foxy
Oh,
Mexican
shit.
coming. Y'all ready?
Oh shit.
Mix it up.
The scene fades away. We cut to the nighttime at Norald Hotel. Everywhere across these 3 islands, cities are alight with fireworks and lanterns and people. Even in this time of warfare and bloodshed, people dance and sing and pray for better times. People hold hands in the moonlight, clasping themselves together and saying, "The night is cold, but I am not alone." And as we sit here in this moment, couples and friends and comrades remembering all that they have given, everything they've lost, and everything they still have. We watch as across plains and in the corners of mountains and at the canopies of forests and amidst low rolling hills, one and then another and then another and then 10 more and 10 more. Pinpricks of light blossom slowly as all over Nor Aldratel, flowers begin to open up, shedding bright crystalline light all around this place. We cut then inside to a circle of chairs as a single red-skinned individual works their way around. Each person sat there a needle infused with bright white magic working as Strix, in a low, hallowed voice, hums and sings to the moon goddess as she works her needle. Elsewhere in the hangar, Asters and Ardents are prepped, weapons are loaded, reactors are checked. Captain Lord Faris stands at the head of the hangar, hands behind his back. Purpose. Everybody wants one, yeah? We watch as on the corner of Mahalina's shoulder is worked that same triple flower moon pattern as is on Strix's arm. A reason to fight? A motive? A cause? Every one of us is here for that, right? We watch next as she works her way towards Cat, drawing that similar flower pattern directly across, sort of in the middle of Cat's sternum. And each of us is given so damn much. Loved ones, homes, beliefs. For this, we watch next as Strix literally flips the needle over, so it's almost like a chisel point, and directly across, like sort of like in like the lower of Gary's side, literally speed chisels in that similar triple flower pattern. And each of us is still here, still loaded, still channeling the same magics, still shouting the same battle cries, still carrying the same memories of lost comrades. And why? Not for causes, not for wars, not for authorities. We watch next as over the newly semi-flushed skin, where an already existing sort of lotus pattern exists, directly in the midst of Hell's chest, is worked in the middle of it, this twisting triple flower pattern. But we are each fighting because there are people beside us who are still fighting. And as long as any one of you stands, I won't fall. As long as any one of you believes, I will believe. We follow next to Strix, who runs again, comes in and gets really close and almost looks up for a bit as she directly under like the sort of soft parts of the neck tattoos in on Tara that same triple star pattern. And as she finishes there, she slams her hands together and each of your tattoos begins to glow this bright white. Mahalina, you are now covered in new tattoos. This new feeling as magic flows and ripples through you, where before it would eat at your life force, or it would rip into you. It now just flows like a river. And as all of you sit collected in this magic, hearing this ethereal voice from beyond this world itself sing to you, a goddess carrying you forth as you all rise and head towards the hangar. You pass comrades who offer salutes and chest pounds and fist bumps or nods as each of you moves to your equipment. Cat, you loop up with the engineers who offer salutes and begin to immediately start working on setting up guns. Tada, engineers who are working on Chadni, offer you a low bow as you enter toward and you start walking up. Hell, you can see a couple of soldiers who are literally standing by the Merciful Sister and are pouring out drinks to offer to their fallen comrades. And as you walk by, they look at you, firm salute, and continue to pour as you move through. Mahalina, you walk towards the Phoenix, and there are two soldiers standing there. And as you walk up, they hold up their fists, and you can see that they have tattooed little birds across their knuckles. Little phoenixes. Gary, you start walking, and as you get towards your mech, ready to unravel yourself and climb up, you feel something grab a leg, and then the other leg, and heave as two crew members lift you up into your cockpit. Go get him. The captain up at the front says, I cannot say how many of you will come home from this, Cannot promise I will either. But there is a deific force fighting besides us, and I do not mean Illuna. He slams a panel, the hangar doors screech open, and out in the midst, you can see the entirety of an island and patterns of light from cities and towns and pastures and farms. But this, the people who we fight for, are our belief. They are our God. And until every single one of them is freed, we fight. Which of you will fight with me?
God, we'll just let out a scream. Just an agreement.
It carries, ripples. Soldiers pick up, screaming, shouting, throwing up bottles.
There's a glow from inside the cockpit of the Merciful Sister. So, gang. Who's ready to dance?
You.
I honestly think that's just a good line. I don't want to add to it.
No, I'm good.
Do good. As
Cool
hell
for
lights.
school, I guess. Like the
Yeah.
fuck? How's anyone supposed to add on to that, Verm?
We follow
Fuck.
the cloud of cigar smoke from Hell's cigar inside the cockpit and cut to a similar curl of smoke coming not from the cockpit, but from the bridge of the ship as the captain lights a cigar. Reactor stable. Weapons green. All squads ready. All wings on launch. For the moonlight. And a trillion pinpoints of reactor trails and flares power up and fire as dozens and dozens of Alba Asters take off into the moonlight. Not on zip lines and crystals, but in full flight, now powered by the magic of the moon goddess. And I believe with that, we bring ourselves to a close. Friends, I want to thank every single fucking one of you for coming out for part 1 of the finale of Under Twilight Skies. I have been Young Foxy, your host for the duration of this stream, and I have had the pleasure of playing with the 5 single most fucking incredible role players this side of the internet, and now you assholes know why. You're welcome. Let's go ahead and keep this super straight and simple. We're going to pass it on around the horn in the order that I call you out. Please tell me who you are, who you've played today, where you can be found on the internet, and what else you got coming up so people can know where to find you at. Let's start. Right across from me, with the ever incomparable, Classical Glyza.
Yo, hi, I'm Glyza, I go by they, them. Today I played Mahalina, Agbayani, the battery, the one with the phoenix, the one whose wife remembers her now. So I'm happy. I'm a person of many hats. I'm a podcast host, I'm a writer, I'm a variety streamer, talk show host of a show called Trial Run. I'm on a lot of things, so if you want to see all the stuff I'm in, just check out bio.link/Classical Glyza to see anywhere where you can find me, or just look for @Classical Glyza everywhere on the socials, but especially on Twitter because I make all of my announcements there. I'm also a little bit funny and always a delight, so thank you. Next.
Keeping it moving, sliding right down from Discord order for me. Moving down to the always powerful Leona Mink.
Oh, goodness me. You are too kind. Hello, my name is Leona. You can find me on Twitter @TheLeonaMaple. That is the best place to find me. Follow me, keep up with what on earth it is that I am doing, such as incredible charity streams such as this one. I think that's all I got, fam. I don't know. I'm emotional. I'm a mess. Good
all?
night. Good night.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping it moving then so we can keep the outros going, sliding down to the mind of a genius, the creative spirit of a deity, and the heart of the closest friend you could ever ask for. Legendary Vermin.
What's up, everybody? I'm Legendary Vermin. I have been Legendary Vermin. I will continue to be Legendary Vermin in all the places on the internet that matter, which is, of course, Itch, Twitch, Twitter, and I suppose YouTube. You can normally catch more of my schedule over on legendaryvermin.com/live. It is not up to date right now because I have been a busy beaver. Keep an eye out here on Neon Lights Roleplay for any continuing streaming that I'm going to be a part of. Keep an eye out on Itch because I have the playtest of a game I've been working on for ages that is going to be coming to a PDF near you in no amount of armor. And keep your ear to the ground because very, very soon, with the help of so many people behind the scenes to get this fired up and ready to go, please keep your ears open for the World Within You a Voidheart Symphony campaign. That's all I got for now.
Sorry, my excitement for World Within You literally can't be contained within my mortal shell. I apologize. That said, moving on over to the hostess with the mostest, the fucking firebrand of Neon Lights Roleplay, the community manager who handles it. I had a rhyme there, but I lost it because I'm too emotional and high. So I'm just gonna pass it on and say, fucking Tate, you're incredible, man.
I'm the firebrand. Wow, that's not a title that's ever been prescribed to me. Hello, Twitch. My name is Tate Washburn. You can find me at a new Twitter handle, Tate the Terrific. I'm trying to actually put my name in there because people kept complaining about kind of writing. Anyways, what you should really do, though, is follow this channel's Twitter, at Neon Lights Roleplay, where we announce all the cool stuff, and we have, like, 3 people working it, so there's much better jokes, and they're all funnier than me, so that's where there's the better stuff. And it'll also lead you to our Discord, where we meme a bunch. It's, in fact, where I am the most funny. If you like me, that's where you should go, the most. That's where I am my funniest. And, yeah, that's where we announce cool new stuff and new games that we play in, and I'm also excited for The World Within You for both the reasons of watching Vermin run games and also for other character reasons.
Wow. And of course, rounding out our cast, our fucking star of the show tonight, who continuously, constantly evolves in their roleplay and brings more and more incredibly emotional things to the things that they bring. And I am so proud to see this growth here on this channel. Thank you, Chops, for being here. Go ahead and say goodbye, boss.
It just keeps escalating.
Yeah.
Every time.
It always does, and I'm trying more and more to just deflect it, but it's not working. Why are you all standing clapping? What? What is this? What?
Keep talking. Keep doing your
God damn it!
My brain broke. Sorry. Y'all are too great for me. Or great to me. Both.
I'm pretty sure you made multiple people cry multiple times, so...
He was the great one today.
Revenge is a dish best served cold. I have played Catalyst Mayhem, I don't even know how to describe them as a part of the team.
Outcome mechanic.
Chaos Badger and Loving Bean.
Yeah, just
President Ship Possum.
yeah.
The smartest gremlin that ever existed.
There you go. You got 4 titles right there.
Yep, fair enough. Yeah, and I have been Chouse. You can find me on my. Oh, why is okay? Well, that also works. But you can find me here, mostly, among these absolutely amazing people who have chosen me to help me grow, and along with a bunch of other people are also growing here. And it's absolutely wonderful, and I'm glad I'm able to treasure every moment with them. You can find more in our Discord and join the community and help be one of these amazing people. Yeah. I try and stream on my own, but that's yike.
Well,
Leona, you're muted.
I said, no, it's not. It's great.
I like your streams, low key. They're funny. They're really good. Like chill.
Yeah.
My streams are fun, but see, here's the thing.
Uh huh.
I have to schedule them.
Mood.
This is fair criticism of yourself.
Mood. No, mood. Massive mood. I'll
Yeah.
give
I
you
feel
that.
that. I feel
That
that.
said, folks.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's pretty much all about me. Yeah, I showed up and showed out today.
You're
So
fucking did, boss.
I hope you all enjoyed.
Review? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, folks.
Yeah.
If you don't know who I am by now, welcome to the Lights for the first time. I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox, Philly's finest. Do a lot of nonsense stuff on the internet, namely causing problems and pissing off fascists. It's pretty fun. But when I'm not doing those things, I'm usually hanging out with these assholes and making them look great because I don't have to work hard to do that. Because I don't know if you can't tell, they're pretty fucking great on their own. In any case, I'm going to skip all of my plugs because frankly they aren't super important right now, and much more importantly than that, I'm going to go ahead and shout out all the people who made this campaign happen. This is the end of our campaign with soft giving. So the following people are incredible individuals who made this following thing happen. So, Casanova Frankenstein, Murderous Revenge, Mr. Saito, a good robot boy, Egg-chan, Mr. Saito again, Nightbot, Foxy's Glorious Ears, One More for the Road, Dead from Drama, Bravo Cast, Prane, No One of Particular Interest, Ghostfire, Fake Mahalina, and definitely not gregarious. Thank all of you for $1,000 towards the fight for reproductive health and reproductive rights for birthing people all across this country. You all are contributing to the fight directly. This is work you all put in. Yeah, hold on, real quick. Yeah, Danny will be showing y'all. Real quick, man, one time for y'all.
To
Honestly,
you, the
seriously.
people.
The ones that are make this all possible.
Honestly, thank you guys for everything you've done here. Thank you guys for checking us out. If you are loving what we have so far, don't you worry, because September 16th, that Friday, we come right back here for the part 2, the finale, Under Twilight Skies. So please, do not miss that. If you haven't noticed from today's episode, gonna be a fucking banger.
Yes, sir.
With that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get us out of here, but please, before you do that, sit tight for 2 things. 1, we have a raid coming up after our outro credits, so please don't leave for that. Make sure you support whoever we hang out to. 2, our outro credits, which we want to shout out everybody who gave and helped out here. And 3, I have one last ending scene. Excuse me. We place ourselves in the middle of a massive fortress, atop a floating rock. The lower layers are kept political prisoners, people who will never see the light of day again, as long as this regime continues. We ascend the layers of barracks and bureaucracy, up towards the top of this very massive tower, where 2 individuals sit. One, human-sized, arms behind her back, her hair blowing gently in the wind as she stares out to the distance. The other, a tier 3 Aster, tall, lanky, and dark black, red wings folded in, its head lowered. The individual the human, speaks, Commander Laurel, without turning towards the other individual. As the night wanes on, they will be here soon. You are certain of that. A voice, cracked and uneven, begins to leak out from the sort of vox piece of this mech. Yes, they will come. She is with them. I feel her. Then you are aware of what must be done, yes? I must kill her that I might end this remembering. Quite so. And you will not do so alone. As up from the depths comes a massive humanoid figure. It is composed of blackish, dark purple armor. It is tall and much larger than any tier 3 Aster. Its back, a unit of several condensed cylinders, each glowing this bright yellow energy, leaking this magic that feels not foul or corrupted like the energy leaking from the Hellion, but holy. It is not the guiding, caressing embrace of a goddess. It is the energy of a god bent, made to kneel. I will take to the field personally, and I will end this rebellion once and for all. In the name of the moon. And with that, we'll see you all later. Good night.
Bye bye.